This is the biggest news in home video in a long time, and if you ask me, people have been craving a nice, not just a release of Excalibur, but a restoration of Excalibur. If you've ever seen this movie, it's gorgeous, but it looks like crap. And you can tell it just has always deeply needed a restoration. The way it looks, there's a lot of soft focus and haze and stuff. And I hope they're saying it's a groundbreaking restoration. So I hope it lives up to that, because this movie has been in dire need of visual restoration, like very few other movies. Like there's this and The African Queen, and I don't know what else, that were in deep need of restorations. And finally, Arrow Video is going to put out John Boorman's 1981 fantasy film Excalibur, which is a film I almost love. I really like it, and I almost love it. It's a little bit long. It's got a little bit of an anticlimactic ending, but man, it's gorgeous and it's fun. It's got a great cast. It's got great music, and it's beautiful to look at. So I'm very stoked about this release. Stoked enough to tell you about all the stuff that's in it. It's the first time it's going to be presented in its original aspect ratio of 1:6:6:1. I didn't know that. So apparently in previous editions, we've been missing imagery at the top and bottom of the image.
Interesting.
It's going to have a theatrical cut and a TV cut. I never care about the TV cuts, but hey, more the merrier. And like Arrow always does, there's going to be a book inside it. There's going to be a poster. There's going to be postcards, Dolby Vision, 5.1 audio, a couple of new commentary tracks, in addition to an archival one with John Boorman. But this one excites me the most. Apparently, in 1981, Neil Jordan, the director of stuff like The Crying Game and Interview with the Vampire, was on set, and he made a 48-minute documentary called The Making of Excalibur, Myth into Movie, that has never before been released. And so that's going to be on this set. And then there's other brand new featurettes that you can see listed right there. If you want to get the whole rundown of what's going to be on this release, you can check out the listings for this on boutique stores like Orbit DVD, Grindhouse DVD, or Diabolic DVD. I highly recommend those three stores. And it comes out February 24th. So I pre-ordered the shit out of this. You can rest assured that if our show's still going strong in February, I will review it on the show proximate to that release. I hope we're still going. And it's also got a 50-minute retrospective documentary on it as well. And I don't know of that. So I'm like, I've had Excalibur a few times, and there's no 50-minute documentary that I've ever seen for it. So that must have been released somewhere, but I don't know where.
Probably on Laserdisc or something.
Possibly. And then Arrow is also releasing on the same day, February 24th, Westworld, and that's going to be a brand new restoration from the camera negative as well. And brand new commentary track with a filmmaker and film historian, some conversations with filmmakers, some new featurettes, including a new interview with actor James Brolin, a pilot episode for a TV show that probably was from the 70s, I imagine. I did not pre-order this one, but I'm thinking about pre-ordering it because I've never seen it, so I don't know if I'm going to like it. So I might try and watch this at some point. Good. I imagine I'll like it. I just don't know if I'm going to love it enough to want to buy it, but we'll see.
As somebody who watched the series, like the newer one with Anthony Hopkins and stuff, like watching this original film is just, in my opinion, so much better. It just hits all the cool notes for me, and it's shocking how ahead of its time it was. Yeah, and this one was actually directed by Michael Crichton. Wasn't it?
I think it was.
So it has a lot of the same beats as Jurassic Park, but it's also got shades of Terminator, like way before we got those things. It's so cool.
I liked the first season of the new TV show that was on a few years back, but the second season lost me, and I never finished it. And then we just talked about this movie on our big 1980 show last week, but Arrow's releasing it in February as well, The Visitor on 4K. And they're releasing the movie that Begonia. Have you guys watered your begonias lately? Nope.
No.
Frozen.
They'll die if you don't water them. So the movie that inspired Begonia, Save the Green Planet, they're also putting that out in February. And I hear that this Korean film is better than Begonia by a lot of people. I don't know. I think I might actually be interested in seeing it. And they're putting out American Yakuza on February 17th as well. Kino Lorber, the fine folks at Kino Lorber, they do the Lord's work at Kino Lorber. In January is putting out Guillermo del Toro's Mimic, and it's going to include the theatrical cut and the director's cut. I don't like this movie.
Yeah, I remember liking it a lot more in the past when I watched it, but I rewatched it recently, and it was a little underwhelming. But I just love the idea so much that it still has a special place.
And then Kino, like, you know how they like to announce things and you don't know when you're going to get it. Could be next year, could be 10 years from now. The Night in the Life of Jimmy Reardon. I thought this was interesting because this is just a movie that's not had a very good history on home video at all. And they're only going to do Blu-ray for it, but that's good enough for me. Like, better and to have it in any format than not at all. I was a big River Phoenix fan growing up, and I was pretty devastated when he died. I was like, what? So, and this is a pretty good movie. It's not a great movie, but if you like River Phoenix, you'll like it. And The Island is another movie we just talked about last week on our big 1980 show that Kino Lorber has also said they are working on. Criterion Network. Ben and I watched Network together when you were here a year or so ago. Mm. And I just adore that movie. It's one that I came to later in life, like maybe 10 years ago I saw it, and just fell hard in love with it. And I've seen it like 5 times since, including the time with you, and I love it more every time I see it. I love every actor in that movie. I think Network's actually where I fell in love with William Holden, because that's my favorite William Holden performance. So Network I pre-ordered the shit out of. And A Woman Under the Influence, I was kind of on the fence because I love Jenna Rollins and she's really good in that movie, but I don't know how many times I could watch that movie because it's upsetting. But I thought this, with Network and A Woman Under the Influence, it was a pretty good batch. And I know a lot of people are excited about a Coen Brothers movie, The Man Who Wasn't There. And 3:10 to Yuma, I've only seen the remake of that. I haven't seen the original. And then there's some artsy-fartsy movies that I haven't seen. Battle Royale has come out many times, but I don't think it's ever been on 4K. And Lionsgate Limited, in just a week or so, is releasing it on their Lionsgate Limited website.
Lionsgate on fire with these releases.
Yeah, and they do good work, man. At least the packaging's always really good. Transfers are usually good, sometimes not as good. But this was a good movie, and I'd kind of like to have this. I don't own it yet, so this would be the one to get. And then some traditional, everyday Hollywood studio shit's coming out. December, Begonia will be out. And Tron Ares, which I doubt very many people are going to be wanting to buy, is coming out in early January. And Ordinary People. We just talked about this one last week, too. The Blu-ray is out of print. I didn't realize the Blu-ray was out of print. So Paramount is putting it back in print at the end of January, January 27th, with much, much better artwork. So I will be buying this just to have the better artwork. The artwork on the previous edition is some Photoshop nasty crap. I wish I could drive to Hollywood and spank whoever put that shit together, because they deserve a big spanking. Ordinary People, buy that shit. And then, of course, we have VHS releases, because for some ungodly reason that I'll harp on every show, there are still people who like to buy VHS. So Thanksgiving from Eli Roth, coming to VHS courtesy of TerrorVision during the first quarter of next year.
I had just rewatched the movie and then I saw this and I was so tempted, but I don't know. The artwork was the only thing that gave me pause, along with the fact that I was already making a lot of other irresponsible Black Friday, Cyber Monday decisions. So
and I bet
this one didn't
cheap.
make the cut, but
do you remember how much it was?
$30 before shipping and taxes.
Yeah, I could buy a Blu-ray for that. Some 4Ks even. Then we have Vinegar Syndrome. They've upset a lot of people by announcing Troll 2. On one hand, I'm like, well, this is what they usually release crap. Vinegar Syndrome likes to polish turds. Troll 2 is a turd. Why aren't Vinegar Syndrome people happy? Well, some are, some aren't. I don't know why. I feel like in Vinegar Syndrome circles, the fan base is kind of splitting. Half the people are becoming disappointed with their releases, and half are like, yeah, this is what we want. So I don't know what's going on. Troll 2 is so bad, it's kind of awesome, but I do not need to own this.
Yeah. Vinegar Syndrome's kind of hit. I don't know if it's so much splitting as they've expanded their market so much that they're getting, I guess, for lack of a better term, normal people who are expecting more like higher quality releases to match the packaging. But they've made their fortune up to this point just taking bad movies and giving them beautiful artwork. Frankly, I always thought this one had kind of a devout cult following for how bad it is, and I would have thought, yeah, it's perfect for Vinegar Syndrome in that way. But
Maybe, I don't know. It's kind of something I don't know and appreciate, but I do watch a lot of YouTube channels, and I know a lot of people, they watch Vinegar Syndrome more closely than any other label. Like, this is the shit to a lot of people, and so I just don't have as much invested in any label. I don't have label loyalty. I've noticed a lot of collectors actually sort their movie shelves by label, and I'm
I
like,
do.
wow, that's a whole level of OCD that even I'm not that way. Like, I couldn't do that.
Yeah, I sort mine by label, but I don't have a huge amount from any one label. Like, so I think Criterion's the one I have the most of, followed by Kino Lorber. But other than that, I just have kind of a handful from each.
So Troll 2, and then of course they're also putting out a VHS of one of the shittiest fucking movies I've ever seen. Demon Wind. Demon Wind. I'm going to look at my review of Demon Wind.
It's a stinker.
Demon Wind. I gave this a 2. Demon Wind, first off, is not about farts. If it were, it would most assuredly be a more interesting movie.
I love that cassette.
Yeah. And then I compared it to Troll 2. I said the acting is wooden at all times, but not quite on the delightfully awful level of Troll 2. No, Demon Wind is merely bad. So I gave it a 2 out of 10, and I don't give out very many 2s and hardly any 1s. So Demon Wind was just really abysmal in my opinion, and I don't know who the hell would want to own this, much less on the shittiest format that ever existed, VHS.
So this particular package goes for about 45 to 50, I think, on the Vinegar Syndrome, because it's got like this LED thing on the inside that lights up the tape that's transparent. And...
There's an LED in it? Well, hey, that's something.
Yeah, in the case, yeah. From my understanding.
I didn't know that. That's something.
That's why the tape is like transparent like that.
Gosh. Oh, gosh. And then Cauldron, a label that I don't own anything from because they don't usually put out anything that I want, is doing a Lucio Fulci movie, Conquest.
I have a history with this one.
Ben likes Conquest.
Yeah. Yeah, it's funny you were mentioning how Excalibur, which I haven't seen, has like a really like missed, like you said, it was out of focus and like fuzzy or
on purpose though.
Well, yeah, this film on purpose has a very misty picture. That's the best way I can describe it. I picked up a Code Red release, or no, I picked up a Blue Underground release on DVD. And I thought it was just that transfer from Blue Underground that was awful or something. I said, oh my God. Well, I'm a fan of Fulci, and I had no idea he did a sword and sorcery film. So I wanted to check it out. But then, again, bad Blue Underground DVD, or at least I thought at that time. I pick up a Code Red one, which was just as bad, but it also had like the Banana Man tacked onto the front of the feature. Like you couldn't even skip it. Some skit. I don't know if you know about that, where they had.
I've heard of it, but I've never experienced it.
It's awful. It's right tacked on, like it's not even an extra or anything. So I had to sell that back on eBay and then get the Blue Underground one again. And it turns out that was the best to date. So I'm very curious to know if this one is still as misty and hard to see. Otherwise, I mean, it is a cool film. It's just you can't make it out.
This is way down low on my to see list. So knock yourself out, Ben. Soundtrack wise, there were a couple of announcements, but none of them were very interesting. So I'm only picking one, and that is because it's a Jerry Goldsmith score. Not a particularly good movie, but even when the movie was shit, Jerry Goldsmith still gave it his all. So they're expanding King Solomon's Mines over at La La Land Records, and that'll be out in late December. You can pre-order it now at their website. And this book is a reprint, a hardcover reprint of The Making of Superman the Movie from 1978. And I just thought it was interesting that anyone would reprint a hardcover edition of any of these old mass market paperbacks that used to flood grocery store shelves in the 70s and 80s. I loved those things. I collect those things. I don't think I have this one actually. But I went to this website. It's only available for pre-order at capedwonderautographs.com, and I think it's like $40 or $50. It ain't cheap. So that's out of my price range. I wouldn't pick it up for that much. But man, if this was like a $10 or $20 book, I'd probably buy it. And in terms of collectibles, I couldn't find very much of interest. This is actually something that came out in September, but I haven't featured it on the show yet, I don't think. My memory's so awful. Maybe I did. That'd be embarrassing. Do you guys remember seeing a Lego Gizmo on a previous show?
I don't think so. No.
All right, good. Well, it's out there. I think it's like $110 because it's Lego.
Yeah, that's actually not bad for...
I collect gizmos, so if anyone out there feels like dropping 110 on a Christmas present,
I mean, it's not bad for Lego. I mean, as a collectible, it's a lot, but especially for their licensed stuff that they had for their adult line now, it's pretty zesty usually.
What's the adult line, Ben?
Well, it's like the more complex sets that have a premium price point, and usually they
it's not dirty.
No.
Okay. It's like Lego genitals? Is that what they're doing?